Hey everybody, Jay Barino here, welcome back. Thanks for joining me today as we continue our way through the Metroid Prime Trilogy. We're starting Metroid Prime 2 Echoes today. On Veteran, let's go. Purple. We got a nice little visual update since the first Prime. First thing I'll do is scan my ship. It's our first research logbook scan. Similar to the first game, I'll be scanning some non-logbook 100% related items, just so that if you want, you can read these. I won't be scanning all of them, but just stuff that seems of interest to kind of help set the scene. And just for the intro here, I think we'll just go ahead and play through it without much commentary and absorb what's happening. So it's worth pointing out that Metroid Prime 2 on the Dolphin emulator that I'm playing on, which is Prime Hack, it tends to stutter quite heavily at certain times and also crash sometimes. So if that happens, I'll do my best to make cuts in the video. So they're using pesticide to keep these native beasts out that seemed like they were clawing to get into their base. We're here to check in on distress beacon from a Galactic Federation trooper ship. Okay, and for some reason this gate counts as research? I don't know. But clearly something has gone terribly awry in here. So I actually think it's the fog effect that causes some slowdown, specifically when you're using the scan visor. Converted their ventilation system to disperse pesticides. Several gates have taken considerable damage from hostile forces. Local hostiles likely damaging the communication system. So the map station, the save station, energy pickups, missiles don't actually count towards 100% logbook this time. I'll probably scan them anyway just to change them from blue to green. For that little bit of completion, I suppose. Alright, so the map is... It works very similarly. I will say that Metroid Prime 2 in general is much larger than Metroid Prime 1. Just overall, it's a very different feeling world. 3 troopers lost. Lock malfunction is to blame. So that's incredibly eerie. Especially the sound that happens when you open that door. So some troopers are red, which means that they have logbook scans. So just like the first Prime, I will go ahead and read the lore scans. There's something wrong with the lock systems in this section. They failed twice, locking us out until someone came along to let us in. If it happens again while we're playing bait for those things, well, at least we'll go out fighting instead of hiding in the control area. So one difference with the first Prime is you have to actually go into the logbook to read these. I don't like this plan. This hive is a small portion of a larger network. There may be dozens of hive systems like this across the planet, and they may all be linked. Destroying this one may buy us time, but it may also provoke the other hives into attacking. These logbooks lore scans are all a little shorter, at least. Stop desecrating the bodies. So not all of the troopers have lore scans. Attempts to block enemy access have been in vain. Burrowing through the earth. Yeah, it's kind of creepy to think, yeah, it seems like these animals just started bursting through the floors and the walls. Command and control center compromised. Repel invading hostiles at all costs. All units clear to engage. So it may not seem like it, but we actually do have all of our upgrades, or most of our upgrades from Prime 1. They just don't appear to be usable right now. You'll see what I mean in a bit. Scan the morph ball bomb slot. Okay, so we have spooky possessed troopers. This is why not every trooper has a log scan. It's the ones that don't come alive and try to kill you. Okay, well, let's make sure we scan one. So here the music is like slowing down and lagging. Interesting. Dark Trooper, deceased Galactic Federation trooper. Bioscans indicate terminated life signs in this trooper and the presence of an unknown biomass. So the scan visor won't be slowed down like that through the whole game. It's just in certain points. Like in here, I think because there's like a fog effect and fire. There's a certain area that has rain. It gets particularly bad. They also removed the rapid-fire missile exploit. I quite like the introduction of Dark Samus early in this game. Granted, you only know she exists from the first game if you get 100%. You see the Phazon suit hand popping out of the pool of Phazon. But then you come here and she's just here right away. She's just kind of a constant nemesis throughout the game. Let's check this. Unknown dimensional anomaly. Anomaly seems to be a dimensional rift. Target destination unknown. Well, that leaves us no choice. Alert, gear stolen by unknown creatures. So before I go through the Morph Ball, I'll let it list all the things we lost. Grapple Beam, offline. Morph Ball Boost, offline. Power Bomb Generator, offline. Missile Launcher, offline. Morph Ball Bombs, offline. All remaining systems online and active. So it's to me, that's sort of, it's implying we had power bombs. I think we even had Spider Ball. It's just, it didn't appear like they were usable because this is the tutorial of the game. But we have to basically chase down those dark insect creatures from the other world that stole all of our stuff, and that's how we gain all of our upgrades back throughout the game. But all we have left now is our Various suit, and there's no high heat areas that we're going to be going through on Ether, so that really doesn't matter. And then our Charge Beam, thankfully. Now, I will say a massive difference in this game compared to the first game is your upgrades come in at a real trickle. Like, our item percentage is just going to creep upwards very slowly at the beginning, and it will increase exponentially near the end. So we need a translator module to access these doors. This actually would lead back to our ship. You can see the Galactic Federation was setting up like a whole base of operations down here. Revealed another one of those doors. I'm going to scan one of these cocoons before they hatch. Actually, I think we can destroy them before they hatch. There we go. Make sure to scan one of those later. Oops, wrong button. Destroyed Splinter Cocoon. Sure. There'll be more of those normal splinters to scan in a bit. The bridge, for some reason, counts as research towards your logbook. Again, just strange choices, I feel like. Arbitrarily chosen on, like, what counts as what towards 100% logbook and what is just a normal blue scan that doesn't technically go into your logbook. In the grand scheme, it's not that important. I think Haley's losing it. He talks to himself all the time, and he won't sleep. He almost shot me on watch the other night. I think he thought I was one of those things. I talked to the doc about taking him off the line, and he told me we need all the help we can get. That's true, but if he goes berserk and kills a bunch of us, that won't be very helpful. It's true, my dude. Okay, we cannot interface with that right now. Let's make sure to scan one of these. So similar to the first game and how I played the first game, I'll read the enemy text for mini-bosses and bosses, but not all these normal enemies. But then I'll read all the lore as well. I actually quite enjoyed reading all the lore scans in the first game, because I had never really done so. And I've definitely never done it in Prime 2 and 3, so I think it'll be fun to do. It really adds a lot to the game. And really, at this point, there's nothing we can do besides progress towards that big structure in the middle. Some gates will remain locked down to prevent future incursions by hostile forces. So that gate, for some reason, counted as its own research scan, even though we scanned a different gate earlier. I know why they're technically different scans, but why they're both 100% logbook scans, I don't understand. We can come back and destroy those that had just dropped, which is why I think they count as their own scans. Galactic Federation Communications Array. Target is part of a deep space communications system. Local interference is jamming its signal. Until conditions clear, it is effectively useless. Well, don't say that where it can hear you. That's rude. We'll be making our stand here. The engineer tells me there's no way we'll get the ship's engines online, and atmospheric interference is scrambling our distress beacon. If anyone reads this, know that we did our duty and fought well. I'll pass it along. Adjusting transmitter for optimum performance. Transmission failed due to atmospheric interference. I guess I could just run by these guys, but I guess we'll give them some mercy killings here. This is ridiculous. I can outshoot half of the men here, and I'm stuck on monitor duty? I didn't join up to stare at a hollow screen. This wouldn't happen to Samus Aran. She'd be out there taking care of business, not pushing buttons and sending reports. Well, Samus Aran probably also wouldn't have gotten killed by bugs. Alright, and we found the ship. Final report, GFMC Task Force Heracles. While on patrol in the Dasher system, we engaged an unknown space pirate frigate. The enemy frigate was crippled and it crashed on the planet Ether. We followed the pirates, but our ship was damaged by a storm as we entered Ether's atmosphere. Heavy magnetic activity during the storm disabled our comm systems. Upon landing, we split into 2 units, one to set up an ops base and the other to repair the ship. Each unit was doing fine, no problems. Until they appeared. Just a very eerie way to set the stage for this game. You show up and just everyone's dead. Memory core damaged, unable to restore access. Seek individual log entries in trooper armor suit systems. So we can pick up some Galactic Federation lore here. I'm beginning to think it was a real bad idea going down there. Reeves is right. The hive is just one of many. It's stupid to stir a hornet's nest, especially if you plan on sleeping under it. Now we can scan the ship. That's research. And first things first, let's get our missile launcher back. Oh my gosh, that lag. Alright, let's get some revenge. So these are essentially possessed versions of the splinters that we had seen prior to this. So it seems like the Galactic Federation troops had some means of dealing with the normal ones, but then when these dark ones started showing up, they started breaking through all their defenses. Man, I hope this is the only breeding ground for these things. If there's more, we're in big trouble. We had a hard enough time taking that one out of commission. I almost ran out of ammo. I never run out of ammo. We're at a gentleman's 1% item collection. So Haley's the one that the other trooper's log said thought was going crazy. I hear them everywhere. They're coming. Can't sleep. Ever. They'll eat me. Eat. Brutal lost the bet, so he switched watch duty with me. I figure that this section is nice and safe and boring, which suits me just fine. Let those other pugs guard the hot zone. Hold on. Hey! Halt! No! Help! The Sarge says those splinters remind him of some killer bug he saw on another planet once. All I know is the things are fast and take a lot to drop. Pretty soon we'll have to go to bayonets. Everyone's low on ammo, even Brody, and he's the stingiest grunt I know. So I'm pretty sure we can get all of the Galactic Federation lore before we even enter the Great Temple, which is that big structure above us. Okay, so we have the map for Temple Grounds, and Temple Grounds is one of the more confusing areas of the game. I'll explain why as we play through it. Okay, I'm going to scan this before we activate it, so that we can get the orb cannon. Last night at Chow, Angseth started talking about some bounty hunter and how she blew up a planet full of space pirates. I told her I didn't believe in fairy tales like that, and she took it personal. I just find it hard to believe that one person took out an entire space pirate base, that's all. But if she wants to believe in this Samus or Bigfoot or Santa Claus, she can. How dare you? How dare you? Well, I was too late to save your life. Again, I think the stuttering and the lag will improve in certain parts of the game. It's really only bad, again, in particular places. So this is just a new way to traverse the world with the orb cannons. A missile blast may damage it. Okay, and I believe this is the last trooper. Yep, there we go. 100% trooper logs already. I'm the only one left. Managed to get out of the hive, but when I got to the ship, everyone was gone. Dead. I'm heading for that alien building we saw earlier. Maybe someone can help me there. Wait, something's moving down there. Hello? It's an important thing to point out. By going down that morph ball tube right there, we've actually hit a point of no return, where we can't go back. At least not for a while. And that's one reason why I said earlier I find the Temple Grounds can be a bit confusing until you fully understand how it works. It's basically segmented into 3 distinct areas, even though they all look connected. And as you get more equipment later, you can connect them. But for now, a lot of it is, once you get to a certain point, you cannot go back. So again, as of right now, there's no way to go back to the ship. Destroyed Warwasp Hive. Just like the first game, where you can scan the Warwasp Hive, and it seems like it would be its own logbook scan, but it's not. It doesn't actually count towards the 100% or anything like that. At least we got to keep our morph ball and our charge beam. So we've got an alien here, actually. Target has been dead for 8 cycles. Trace amounts of unknown chemical present in target. It has an effect similar to mummification on dead biomatter. Further analysis required to determine chemical's effect on living biomatter. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get some missiles. Nope, okay. The game wants to be a little stingy. That's fine. There's our first elevator in the game. So this elevator takes us to the Great Temple, which is not really its own zone. It kind of acts as a go-between between those 3 segmented areas of the temple grounds, like I was mentioning earlier. Guess let's read about these guys. Target's size and muscle mass suggest heavy combat training. It's likely that it was a warrior of some kind. The lack of gear, armor, or weapons is curious. Perhaps they were taken by others of its kind? Well, we also had these dark creatures steal all of our stuff. Despite the presence of local animals, Target Corpse has not been disturbed. Scans suggest the presence of a toxic biochemical within the target. This may explain the lack of carrion feeding. Okay, get the scan visor ready. It's not required that we scan these here, but I like to grab these as early as possible. Okay. So I think, even though this will be a little shorter than some of my Prime 1 videos, this is a good spot to stop, because I think that going through the whole Galactic Federation base and reading about what happened to them is a really good way to it's a really good intro to the game, so that when we come back, we can continue exploring this great temple and then see what's in store for us. Alright, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.